All right, let's get real for a minute. This is another one of those disappointing moments in hip hop. And on this particular episode, I am going to kind of point out a few different examples. Now, where I want to share with you guys is some of these hip hop cats that actually owe me money. Yeah, one of them kind of videos. So, unfortunately, this is one of those things that I rather not have happened to me, but it did. What can I say? And now I'm going to share all that stuff with you guys. So, here we go. Okay, so the first one I want to tell you about, I think it was 2007. 2007, I'm in New York, me and my homeboy, and we were up there to see the Rock the Bells concert. I think that one was on Randall's Island, I believe. I forgot what the lineup was. I know it was like Erica and EPMD, and I forgot all of that lineup. But that was 2007, whatever the 2007 lineup happened to be. Anyway, so it just so happens that while we were in town, we found out about the Crotona Park Jams. Now, I've done a ton of videos about the Crotona Park Jams, highlights, video clips, all kinds of stuff. Go back and check some of that stuff out. But basically, the Crotona Park Jams are these jams that they have every Thursday in July. They've been doing them since I think 2004, 2005. Christy Z and Popmaster Fable, they started them. Last few years, Grandmaster Kaz has taken them over, and it's basically just these parties where these classic, legendary DJs come out. They got the sound system, the turntables, and they playing all the classics just like they used to do back in the 70s and 80s. Pretty much. And then in addition to an all-star lineup of performers, you also have just a lot of hip-hop legends just hanging out in the park. People from all over the world, they come and they hang out or whatever. They've even had actual performances there. I've seen like members of the Furious Five perform, Busy B, Schoolie D. It's just been really cool, and like just such a long list of legendary acts and people just there hanging out. It's too long of a list. But if you go and you check out some of these past videos, you'll know you'll know what I'm talking about. Just put in Crotona Park Jams, and anybody that has footage on YouTube, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Anyway, so the first one I went to was absolutely mind-blowing. I mean, just absolutely mind-blowing. And so I'm in the park and I'm just seeing all these people and this music that I grew up on. I think I know Jazzy J was spending that day. Steve D, I think, was there. Rock Raider spun. Who else was there? Grandmaster Kaz was the host. He's always the host. Melly Mel, Raheem, and Kaz all performed together, which was bananas. But as far as who was just there, man, Busy B performed that time, I believe. Man, I saw Charlie Chase. I saw Cool DJ AJ, Dada Rock, rest in peace to those guys. Grandmaster Flash came through. Cool Herc was there. Raheem, well, I mentioned him. Just all of these people. I can't remember everybody, but there was a lot of hip hop royalty in the park that day. And I'm just like running from person to person, asking for autographs and this, that, and the other thing. And one of the people, now I'm giving you my perspective. One of the people who was also there that had their video camera and was recording everybody and doing all this stuff that seemed to go unnoticed was legendary DJ Tap Money from Philadelphia. And I recognized him right away because I'm a huge Steady B fan. You know, back when in the 80s, Philly was known for having the best DJs in the world. You know what I mean? That's just what it was. That was that's what how everybody felt. A lot of people felt that way. And man, when I called him out, nobody seemed to really recognize him from what I saw. And I remember calling him out and going over there to him, and he was just like, he was pretty surprised. He was like, "Oh, me? Yeah, you. What you talking about? Yeah, bro." Man." And I just started running down his whole resume and this, that, and the other thing, and he was like completely flattered. I mean, it was really, really cool. Real cool, laid back, down to earth brother. I was telling him about I had a few of his mixtapes at the time because mixtapes are my thing. Um, Matter of fact, I should show you real quick. Let me give you a quick. These are all my mixtapes. So, just to give you an idea of that kind of stuff. So, I was telling him about how I had his mixtapes and this and the videos, the Steady B videos he was on, and the concerts that I've seen him at. Real cool, down to earth brother. You know what I'm saying? And so the very next year, I went back because once I went in 2007, I was like, man, I'm not trying to miss. I'm not trying to miss any more of these ever. And even though it's every Thursday, it's four, per year. Most years I've only gotten to go to one of them, but I've been consistently since 2007, haven't missed a show other than, what was it, 2020 for the shutdown or whatever, was the only one, but they didn't have it. So, I go back the very next year, 2008, and I'm thinking maybe Tap Money will be there again, which he was, right? So again, now I'm prepared because I bring my Steady B, record, and I have him sign it for me, which was really cool. And there's Steady B and Tap Money right there. And what was cool is he's signing this, right? And as he's signing it, then I think it was Joe Conzo, the hip hop photographer. Go look him up. Legendary. He comes over and he takes a picture, of Steady B signing the record. So he tells Steady B hold up the record. I'm sorry, Tap Money to hold up the record. And so Tap Money holds it up in front of him. Joe Conzo starts taking pictures. All of a sudden, like, everybody with a camera in that park runs over and they're snapping. Now everybody seems to recognize him and know who he is, right? So I can't recall if it was that visit or if it was, oh, it even says 2008 right there. I don't know if it was 2008 or if it was another show, but at some point we exchanged numbers and we used to just chop it up here and there. And at some point I was like, man, I want the rest of your mixtapes, man. I want, how much? I mean, I didn't know how many volumes he had. I just know that I used to see all his tapes, in particular at this store in Milwaukee called the Scratch Pad, and they had like, well, back then everybody had massive amounts of mixtapes that they were selling, but all his tapes had like the same cover, but it'd be like volume, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like that. I should actually show you a copy of what the cover looks like. Okay, I see it. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so here's what his tapes look like back in the 90s. So there's In the Mix volume 10. What volume is this? There's like volume 9. What is this? Volume 28? Is that 28? Yeah. So he had a lot of tapes. Lot of tapes back then. So I was like, I didn't know, I only had a few, at that point, maybe one or maybe 2 or 3, I don't recall. And I was like, I want all of them. Give me all of them. How much for all of them? He was just like, I don't know. How about $100? I was like, done. Here's where it gets kind of disappointing. So I sent him the $100 through PayPal, and I never got the tapes. And I'd be like, yo, man, what's up, man? What's up? Some time would go by. Oh, yeah. Never got the tapes. And then we had like lost track. I had lost track of him for a while, maybe like a year or two, and then got caught up with him again. And he was like, well, I guess he because I wanted the cassettes. I didn't want anything else. So he was like, well, how about if I send them to you on CD? And I was like, I don't really want no CDs. But at this point, it was like, all right, well, if you send me a CD, could you at least send me the artwork for? And he was sending me like a bunch of them, I was like, can you at least send me the artwork for the tapes or whatever? And he was just like, yeah. That's the last time I heard from Tap Money, unfortunately. And that had to have been 2010, I think, somewhere in there, give or take a year. And so, yeah, that was disappointing because I really, Tap Money's a real cool dude. I mean, big ups to him or whatever. But hey, Tat, you owe me money. You owe me $100, kid. All right. And I have a few more tapes than I had before. Certainly not all that he put out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have like 7, 8 Tap Money tapes. So I still have a long way to go. But whatever. So that's the first one I wanted to tell you guys about. Tap Money, you owe me money. Tap Money. Let's keep going. So, another DJ, right? This time we're gonna talk about DJ Cash Money, also from Philly. Now, I would have pulled this out, but it is literally buried, right? It's buried. But Cash Money came out with a mix CD years ago, many years ago, and it was called Head Banging 45s. Okay, so and he was selling them for $20 a piece plus shipping online. I bought it online somewhere. More than likely, yeah, it was directly from him, as a matter of fact. Man, I paid $20 plus the shipping. I never got my CD, Mr. Cash Money. Now, Cash is another one that I've met many times. Here's just one of the records that I have that he actually signed for me back in the day. I've been around Cash at least I don't know, at least 4 or 5 times over the years. And I think most of those times have been at Crotona Park. Yeah, most of those times have been at Crotona Park. That's probably, excuse me, that's probably where I got this sign. But anyway, so man, this was a disappointment because I was emailing him and I was like, yo, what's up, man? Oh, hey, I didn't get my CD yet. What's going on? And this dude wouldn't even respond. And the last email I sent to him was, it said, well, I guess I'm never going to get this CD. Huh. And he just, nothing. Nothing. And I was just like, wow, 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 okay, it's like that, okay, wow, wow. Now this one, this one pissed me off more than anything. Tab Money was disappointing because we had really kind of gotten to know each other, and yeah, it sucks. Cash Money, like, it kind of pissed me off because I'm just like, yo, man, I know it's only $20, but it's the principle, homie. You take my money and you won't even respond to me. You responded when I was trying to buy one, but now that you got my little bitty $20 that you ran off with, now you ain't got nothing to say to me, really. It's like that. So yeah, that one kind of ticked me off a little bit more, and I've been around him since then. I didn't mention it. Ain't no biggie to me, but like, don't be trying to sell me nothing. I remember seeing him at Crotona. This was a few years back. This might have been right before COVID. I think it was. Either it was right before or right after. I think it was right before. And he had come out with this, I don't know, a interactive CD or DVD or something. Like you play it. Oh, you like open up the CD case and it like plays a video or something like that. Some fancy schmancy thing, and he was trying to, I think he was selling those for like $100 or something like that. He was trying to sell me one. I was like, hell no, I'm not buying this from you. Already owe me money. I didn't say any of this, but I'm just like, yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. So yeah, another disappointing one. Yo, Cash Money, you owe me some money, man. I want my money. I ended up buying that mix CD somewhere else, and I paid a lot less for it. So I did end up getting it. But when stuff like this, I can't patronize people who steal. You know what I'm saying? I can't patronize you when you owe me money already. And then I had heard other stories from other people. Similar stories like that. I ain't gonna get into that because that's for them to tell, not me. But yeah, Cash, you owe me money. So, one more I want to share with you on this one. So check this one out. I am the biggest Run DMC fan ever. Anybody doubt that? Call me out. Call me out. I dare you. No, I'm just kidding. Don't call me out. Anyway. So, it was, Jay passing away hit me really, really, really hard. That first Park Jam that I went to, in 2007, after the jam, we ended up going to my girl Low Rock, who I was hanging out with that day, me, my homie Rob, and Low Rock, we was all hanging out, and then she took us to the spot where DMC was making an appearance. So it was like, I got to meet DMC for the first time. I was fanning out. It was great, incredible experience. I never got to meet Jay. I never got to meet Run. I would love to meet Run. I shook his hand though, when I was like in high school. It was at some tour they were on, and he came walking through the crowd, and I was kind of up high, and he came walking down, and I just like kind of tapped him on the shoulder, and he kind of looked up at me and gave me a quick dap. That's about as close as I got. But I would love a formal meeting with Run one day. It's my favorite rap group of all time, the greatest rap group in the world. Anyway, why am I talking about Run DMC? Here's why. Jay passed, the group broke up, no more Run DMC, right? So I'm online one day. I don't know where I was at online. I was looking around something, and I see Questlove. And Questlove, you know, they have those, what do you call them? Roots picnics in Philly, right? I guess they've been doing that regularly. I never paid much attention to it. And he does this video. He's talking about the upcoming Roots picnic. And this is all, and he says, hey, we have a surprise performance. He says, I'm not going to tell you who it is. All I'm going to do is this. And then he takes a big gold chain. He puts it on his neck. He takes the black, you know, hat, the Run DMC style hat. He puts it on his head, and then he goes like this. So in other words, he was saying, hey, the special surprise performance is Run DMC. As soon as I saw that video, I booked my trip to Philly right then and there. Booked it right then and there. I was like, Run DMC finna get back together after all this time and make a performance. I'm there, no questions asked. Now, so I go to Philly. I'm only there pretty much for the weekend. Let me say this before I say anything else. I went to as many record stores as I could when I was in Philly. And I can't remember one of the most famous stores that's been around like since the 80s. I think that's the one where Tab Money used to work in at one point. I think the guy who runs it, his name is Chino. For those of you know what store I'm talking about. It's like legendary. It was like the place to go back in the 80s and 90s. And I got to go in that store, and the dude in there, he like let me go through everything in the store. Like they had a whole back room where it was just thousands and thousands. They had everything in that store you could think of. It was sort of like you know that scene in Scratch when DJ Shadow is in the basement of the record store and he's just like surrounded by records. I've had like a handful of experiences like that, and that was one of them. Anyway, I went to as many record stores. I had a great time in Philly. I remember I was at this hotel. I stayed at this hotel that was right across the street from the airport. It was like the most comfortable bed I've ever been in my life. It was great. The whole entire trip cost me $500. Okay, the ticket, the rental car, the hotel, and I'm even including the ticket to the show in there. All of that came out to $500. Well, guess what? Guess who didn't perform? Guess who wasn't there? Guess who there was no mention of anymore? Yeah, Run DMC. Now this year, I can't remember I want to say 2011. It was I think John Legend ended up performing with the Roots. It was Mayor Hawthorne. He was what's that one dude that oh, I can't think of his name. What is the one dude who why can't I think of his name? I can't think of the guy's name. The guy who everybody wants him to do an album, have been wanting an album from him, and then he ended up doing like an album with Jay-Z some years back that people were kind of disappointed in. I can't think of his name. I'm sorry. Got a kid with Erykah Badu, and kind of just disappeared off the face of the earth. I don't remember his name because I'm really not into him. Anyway, he performed there. Some of y'all know exactly. Put it in the comments who I'm talking about. His performance was horrible. I had been there like all day, man, and I was just like, and then Jazzy Jeff was there, and he was on the main stage, and he was gonna do something, and then something went wrong, and he wasn't able to do it. So him and Questlove were doing a performance together. So then they moved over to the smaller tent, which was huge. It wasn't small. It was just this the main stage, and then it was this indoor area. It wasn't a tent. It was like an indoor area, humongous. It was sardine packed in there, and they was in there killing it. And I kid you not, it was so packed in there that I was, after a while, after about 20 minutes, I was like, I gotta get out of here. I was literally, I'm not exaggerating, I was literally about 20 feet away from the door, and it took me about 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes to get 20 feet out the door, trying to squeeze and maneuver through these people. It was so packed in there. Who else performed there? There was, I can't even remember. Just look up, I want to say 2011 was the year, the Roots Picnic. Go take a look at that lineup. Most of that show was horrible. By the time the Roots came on, which they, you know, the Roots are always incredible, I had had enough. I think I hung around for like maybe 15 minutes of their show. And then I was like, I'm out of here, man. The only thing that saved me that day is that they let you bring, they let me bring, I brought a big bottle of water in there that I was just like rationing it off throughout the day and the evening. And I had a book with me, some book I was reading. So, and I found a seat. Like, I was in this seat for like 3 hours straight, just sitting there, reading, sipping here and there. It was like, you know, right by the main stage. And if I wouldn't have had that water and that book to keep me somewhat, you know, engaged, I would have been gone probably long before that. So I was already pissed off that Run DMC wasn't going to perform, or wasn't, I don't even know what happened with that. I saw Questlove make that video, and that's the first and the last time I heard anything about Run DMC being there. And then the whole day just ended up being disappointing. The only part that I really, really enjoyed was when Jazzy Jeff and Questlove were performing together, but it was so crazy up in there that I couldn't stay. And then I did enjoy the Roots, but like I said, I only stayed there for a little while when they first got on. But there was a lot of people there, but I didn't enjoy myself at all. So, here's my problem. My problem is somebody lied to Daryl. You, Questlove. So yeah, $500. You owe me $500, Questlove, and I want my money. You owe me. You told me that you were going to deliver Run DMC, and you failed. You better see this video. Somebody should send this to you and say, you know what? You owe Daryl D $500. Pay that man his money. Pay that man his money. Matter of fact, let me show y'all this real cool piece. Now, this is in a frame, but I don't know if you can see the signatures on there. But I got this. I got this at the '97, I believe it was, Smoke and Grooves tour. It was '96 or '97. Me and my homeboy Professor Pitt, rest in peace, we got in there and interviewed a whole bunch of people, and we got to interview the Roots. Big ups to Kamal, big ups to Big Bub. Man, I really enjoyed talking to those guys. It was crazy. If you go to, matter of fact, if you go to my video, it's called Mental Fitness Zon Other Level Pit. Mental Fitness Zon Other OTHA Level Pit. That's my homeboy Professor Pitt. Back in the 90s, we both had shows on public access. Mine was a DJ related show. His was just hip hop in general. So if you go and you look at that video, somewhere in that video, you'll see clips of us um, interviewing the Roots. So Pitt is the one talking to them, and I'm actually running the camera. So you won't see me, but you'll see my man Pitt. Anyway, Questlove, 500 ducats, homie. Send it to Daryl D. All right. So there you have it. These are some disappointing moments in hip hop where people owe me money. Run my, you know what I'm saying? Run my money. Run it. This is Daryl D. Peace out.